It was a crisp autumn afternoon when Olivia decided to show up at Theo's apartment unannounced. She hadn't been inside for weeks, maybe months, but today something was different. Something felt off. Theo, her boyfriend of 4 years, was sitting on his couch when she stepped into the apartment, laptop open on the coffee table, a half-empty mug of coffee beside it. He barely looked up. "Hey," she said, her voice unsure. "You okay?" Theo, with his usual nonchalant smile, nodded. "Yeah, just tired. Work's been crazy." Olivia couldn't shake the nagging feeling in her chest, the tightness that had been there for a few weeks now. She had noticed the change in their relationship, subtle at first, like a crack in a smooth surface that only deepened with time. "Can we talk?" she asked, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Theo pushed his hair back and sighed. He wasn't one for serious talks, ever. "Yeah, sure," he said, leaning back in his chair as if ready to escape into the comfort of his own thoughts. Olivia sat down across from him, her heart racing. She had waited too long to bring this up, but she knew it was the only way to stop the growing distance between them. "Theo, we've been together for 4 years, she started, her voice shaking just a little. "And it feels like we're both living separate lives, you know." Theo raised an eyebrow, still not fully engaged. "What are you talking about?" She took a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves. "You've been distant lately. You haven't really been present. You're always busy with work or on your phone. And when I try to talk to you, it's like I'm talking to a wall. I don't know what happened, but I don't feel like we're a team anymore." Theo finally put down his mug, but only to lean forward and rest his elbows on his knees. He looked at her, his eyes clouded with confusion. "Olivia, I don't know what you want from me. I'm working hard. I'm trying to build a future. That's what this is all about, isn't it?" Olivia bit her lip. She had heard this excuse before, but today it felt different. "I get it, Theo. I really do. But what's the point of a future if we don't have each other? If I'm just here while you're focused on everything else?" She could see the wall in his eyes, his walls, the ones he put up whenever things got too real. It was easier for him to retreat into work, into his distractions, than to face whatever this was between them. A long silence hung between them, thick and heavy. Olivia felt the sting of loneliness creeping in, even though he was right there. "Are you saying you want to break up?" Theo's voice was quiet, almost hurt. "No, I'm not saying that," she replied quickly. "I'm just saying that I don't feel like you're here. I'm here, giving everything I've got, but it's like you're already somewhere else. And I can't keep pretending everything's fine." Theo ran a hand through his hair again, his eyes darting to the window, avoiding her gaze. "I'm sorry, Liv. I don't know what's been going on with me lately. I've been under so much pressure at work, and I guess I didn't realize how much it was affecting you. I don't want to lose you." Her heart softened at his words, but a part of her was angry too, angry that it had to get this far for him to notice. She had tried to reach out before, but every time he'd just brushed her off, claiming he was too busy or tired. "But you've been losing me for months now, Theo," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "And I've been letting it happen because I kept thinking it would get better. But it hasn't. And I'm not sure I can wait around for you to figure it out anymore." Theo finally looked her in the eye, really looked at her, and for a brief moment Olivia saw a flicker of vulnerability. "I've been scared, Liv. Scared that I'm not enough for you. That if I stop to think about anything besides work, I'll screw everything up." Olivia's anger melted away, replaced by something more tender, something she hadn't felt in a while. "Theo, you don't have to do everything alone. I'm here. I want to be with you, but you have to meet me halfway. I can't do this by myself." There was a long pause as Theo processed her words. He sat back, his expression turning thoughtful. "I don't want to lose you," he said again, his voice raw. "I'll try harder, I promise." Olivia's eyes softened, a small sigh escaping her lips. She wanted to believe him. She really did. But she knew they couldn't keep going in circles forever. "If you want this to work," she said, her tone firm but gentle, "then you have to show me. Actions speak louder than words, Theo." Theo nodded slowly, his gaze locked on hers. "I know, and I will." For the first time in what felt like ages, Olivia felt a flicker of hope. Maybe this wasn't the end, but a new beginning. She stood up, gathering her things, but before she walked out the door, she turned to him once more. "I'll be waiting to see if you can keep that promise," she said, her voice full of quiet determination. Theo watched her leave, and for the first time in a long time, he felt the weight of everything he had been avoiding. He didn't want to lose her, and if it meant facing his fears, he was willing to try. But whether or not it was enough, only time would tell. This is Mental Mastery Daily. Subscribe and start your journey toward greatness, one thought at a time.